On that note, we're going to take a quick break because we got to pay the bills. On that note.
Wait,
Like you just remembered about a bill you had to pay.
I actually do have one.
No, I won't stop the way that I keep to deliver.
SJ.
I'ma make these haters reconsider.
BBC.
I kick back,
Oh,
stay
yeah.
high up for life.
Oh, yeah.
And now I won't stop.
I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. I won't stop, I can't stop, even if I try. Even if I try.
Welcome. Hello, and welcome back to Y'all Boys Talkin', a podcast about nonsensical improvement, where each week we talk about not only bettering ourselves, but how we can help you better yourself by hearing us better ourselves. My name is Joshua Jean-Baptiste.
Frank Hernandez.
Maximo Santana.
And Steve Della Valentina.
And the four of us have known each other for quite some time and have followed our successes and plights over the years. And we have come up with the concept of STTT, which means straight to the top. What does straight to the top mean, Max?
Straight to the top means being focused on what you need to do to get to the next level. It's about looking upward and onward and making sure you're always taking an action that's going to help you move up straight to the top.
Oh, that's amazing. That is fantastic. Aside from that, how was y'all week, y'all?
I mean, it was a week. I'll get into it in the challenge checkup and the Thorn Rose Bud, but what I really kind of wanted to get to right now, because it's basically the talk of the town right now, is the Michael Jackson and the R. Kelly situations that have been prevailing medias everywhere that it exists.
Yep.
It's
I think you can talk a lot about those two men. I think what warrants a broader conversation is the society that we grew up in and how we allowed all that to happen. I think it's pretty common. It's pretty accepted what they did.
That's true, man. The bubbles are bursting.
A lot of bubbles bursting. But at the same time, we filled them up. We all filled them up when we're glorifying these people for creating such great music or being an awesome dancer or having a great movie. And then when we hear certain rumors about them, we just don't want it to be true, even though people make fun of them forever about it. And a skit will come out on Chappelle's show or on the Boondocks or someplace, and we'll know about it and we'll talk about it and we'll make fun of it without recognizing the truth behind that. And that's kind of upsetting.
because, Boondocks, Chappelle's show, this is mid-2000s. We're a number of years away from that, from, like, at least in our lifetime, where we heard about these things and we're just like, whatever, we'll just let these things slide. And then it takes multiple documentaries. It takes multi-part series on Lifetime and HBO for people to be like, interesting.
What I'm really scared of is, like, the subsequent documentaries that are going to come out in the future of shit that we are just subscribing to now. Like the truth about Cheerios, right? Or like,
Right.
Oh, God damn it, not Cheerios.
Hey,
no.
I've seen too many conspiracy documentaries already to buy into that everything gives me cancer, or that the Illuminati is funding everything that I do.
Whoa. The Illuminati is, I mean, come on.
I disagree to agree.
I mean,
I cannot comment on the Illuminati right now at this specific moment.
I personally want to know day one, when you finally qualify for the Illuminati, like, what's the onboarding like? Like, what is the onboarding of the Illuminati? Actually, Max, you're familiar with onboarding. If you got hired by the Illuminati to onboard, would you take it?
I would love to design the Illuminati's onboarding process. It would really bring the whole thing to life.
What are some of the things you'd want to, like, maybe fix about their current onboarding process?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know what they have right now, but number one, you'd have to get kidnapped. Like, you couldn't know where it was. If at best we'd tell you what day you were starting, and that's it. And then it wouldn't even be like in a month-day format. It'd be like a bunch of scratches on your like living room door. You had to decipher that and be like, that's a day. And
I'm excited. I'm excited for that manual, bro. This podcast is not sponsored by the Illuminati, and
Not
Illuminati,
yet.
if you are
or
listening,
is
sorry.
it?
But regarding the two men we were talking about, that is another example of STTB.
Straight to the bottom.
Straight to the bottom, dog. I mean,
But
you know.
let's be clear. They didn't go straight to the bottom this week. This is the week.
Yeah.
It's been, again, the bubble burst, and it's been accepted that they're at the bottom, but they've been at the bottom for quite some time. And
to get to that level,
we're
of
all
what they're
catching up.
doing.
Yeah.
I feel like now they're being summoned to the bottom.
Yeah, straight to go. Do not collect 200.
I think it's also, how fast the internet works and like how social media kind of ramps things up. So even if we did an expose on R. Kelly or Michael Jackson back in like 2003, it wouldn't get the speed, it wouldn't get the momentum. We're going to get all these think pieces on various blogs,
True.
that really have escalated it to a whole nother level. And like for me, it's the cult of personality. It's like we like the idea of these people so much that if anything comes out to challenge it in a negative way, instinctively we'll be like, whoa, why are you trying to blah, 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 instead of seeing that, Michael Jackson held hands with a lot of little boys over the years. And you're like, you know what? That's weird. But you know what? He also did Thriller. So it's just kind of balancing these two worlds at the same time.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be that hard to balance. Yeah.
Too many hot takes. So fuck the STTBs. Let's talk about the STT of the week. Cue the sound.
STTT of the week.
STT of the week is a person, place, thing, or something that has inspired us, that has exemplified straight to the topness. And this STT of the week goes to the Prince of the Fresh Prince, Mr. Jaden motherfucking Smith.
Jaden Smith is a young hero that comes from an older hero who takes his privilege and takes his notoriety and uses it to do good for other people. This particular week, he created a water filtration system called the Water Box. He already has a water company called Just Water, and he's using that collaboration to get water to Flint, Michigan, which still does not have clean water to this day.
FYI.
It's been a number of years, and Jaden Smith is taking responsibility by getting responsibly sourced spring water to people and trying his best. And I actually wanted to use Jaden Smith as a platform to jump on about how all these black superheroes basically exist to help people in our community, because if we're not helping each other, who's going to help us?
What is all that money for?
What's all that money for? Like we have to... one thing I really thought about, and someone had brought this up on some various blogs that I saw, is like, why are all these black superheroes only saving black people? Like, Black Panther's only saving Wakanda, Black Lightning's only saving Harlem, Luke Cage is only saving Harlem. Like, they're all specifically saving black people. It's because, well, we have to fucking save ourselves. Because
we ain't get no reparations.
No, man, that's a larger topic for another day.
Let me not politicize this podcast.
I just figured Spider-Man didn't go to Harlem a lot. Like,
Yeah,
Spider-Man was mostly in the East Side. Spider-Man did not go to Brooklyn as much as he should. Let's be real. And Superman wasn't there either. Batman wasn't.
Yo, can you imagine, like, in the Marvel and DC universe, like a petition or a survey of like a lack of diversity in superhero savings?
Right.
Word. Yo, like, I'm telling you, because Jay-Z's another black superhero. He, first off, saving 21 Savage after his whole visa issues. Helping Jabari Talbot, which is the 6th grader from Florida who would not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And they arrested him for not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. And Jay-Z's like, no, I'm going to get my team of lawyers to help this child to not go to jail for exercising his freedom of speech. It takes Jay-Z to think, if fucking Hove didn't see the story and be like, yo, that's bullshit, and he had the money and the resources to help him, that kid would just go to jail.
That's crazy.
Freaking awful.
That's crazy. In America.
So that's I think these two people, and I'm thankful to all these other black superheroes like Jaden Smith, like Jay-Z, for taking their power, for taking their resources, for doing what others will not, for people who look like them and have gone through situations like them, for things that are 100% completely unjust.
Not all heroes wear capes. Shout out to you, Jaden Smith. You get STTT of the week. On that note, we're going to take a quick break. Here's a message from our sponsors. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This summer. Ma'am, are you ready to check out?
Yeah, let me just... Oh, Oh no!
She thought she had her bags.
Ma'am, I said, are you ready to check out?
I left my bags.
Hey, just get the plastic bag.
We have got to go back to the car.
This summer, you will witness a story that'll rock your recycling bin.
There is no time.
The Reusables Part 1. Don't forget your bag.
And we are back. Now it's time for the meat and potatoes of our show, the challenge checkup. Oh, so long ago, Max came up with a brilliant idea of challenging each other with some New Year's resolution challenges, etc., etc. So we each gave each other challenges to follow. And over the course of this podcast, you will see us fail, have successes, and everything in between.
But also to raise the stakes, our 10-year high school reunion is coming up in June. So we decided to complete all 12 challenges, 3 each, by June. If we fail it, we have to give an entire dissertation of why we failed to our fellow alumni. But if we succeed, we all get to show up to the graduation, to the reunion in a Lambo, blasting Lamb Talk.
Blasting Lamb Talk.
It's gonna be lit. And also,
I hope at some point this podcast gets sponsored by Quavo.
just Quavo.
Or the Lamborghini company.
That'd be great.
Yo, if
We
Lambo
do also
itself.
need to get a Lamborghini.
Yeah, if anyone wants to pay for our Lambo,
Oh yeah, that'd be swag.
or if you could just pay for the Lamborghini insurance, we would take that too.
Guys, we got to really think about cost, but whatever. Let's get our goals
Okay,
first.
yeah.
Anyway, to start our challenge checkup this week, let's give it up to Frank.
Hey, that's me. All right, y'all. So I got 3 challenges. First one's from Josh to maintain a consistent meditation regimen. Second one is from Steve to try the no S diet, which is no snacks, no sweets, no seconds for 4 weeks. And from Max to speak up more at work concerning social issues. My first challenge is meditate, and let me tell you something. 7 out of 7. 7 out of mother effing 7.
Frank.
3 weeks in a row?
Mr. Consistency.
Mr. Consistency. here.
Hashtag consistency, my dudes.
What are you, condensed milk?
Is that the most common phrase?
Edit.
No, keep that.
No,
What are you?
no. Well, I will edit it, but then add more silence.
Make the pause longer.
Wait, hold on. You're gonna add silence to make a bad joke?
Yes.
What an asshole.
Oh, what a dick. But yes, as far as my...
Frank, Mr. Consistent.
Yeah. 36 days. I've been 36 days straight as of today, every day, waking up 10 minutes a day, just kind of getting into my head, trying to clear things out. And yeah, it's been fantastic. I've been sleeping good.
Yo, Frank, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to step up your challenge, dog.
Oh,
Hey,
you're gonna do it in
let
week
him- he's
6.
consistent.
Week 6 is all right now. Frank is too good at sitting still for 10 minutes a day. Whoa.
Yo, I you know what? We'll save that for next week. But I think I'm gonna ante up your challenge, dog, because you've been
Okay.
doing so well.
All right. Look, my only thing is I wish I was flying at this point, but that's overtime. But I'm feeling pretty good about that. Okay. I'm gonna get to the no S diet last because that's gonna be an interesting one. But at work, so speak up more at work concerning social issues. So I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting and trying to get things, with a good perspective out there. And I feel like I just, it's tough being one of the few people of color at the office. I'm just gonna say that as an overall thing, where not everyone's gonna understand you. But I'm super thankful that one of my supervisors is a black man, and I'm gonna tell y'all just having him there and being like, hey, you get this, you get this, you get that. the amount of camaraderie, the amount of like ideas that go back and forth, like to be able to have someone else in the business to kind of guide me. And he's also in design as well, so like that's what I'm doing, and I'm really excited to like ask him for advice. And straight up, I'm hoping, even if I'm not in this job in a year or two, like I hope to have him like as a mentor, because you know him, he's been doing this for much longer than I have, and following his lead and like seeing what he's gone through and the people he's met. So I'm just really interested to see where he goes and what we can do together. Also, what's interesting is that we actually hired a bunch more Latino people at the office.
Hey,
Just like that. Just like that. They walked in and steel drums just played throughout the offices.
First of all, that is not the steel drum. That's... Never mind.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell me what that is.
What could it possibly be?
Yeah,
It's
go
not
ahead.
a banjo.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's super dope that they're in there as well, and the fact that this Los Angeles-based company has very little Latino people was not good. There was one time at the office where a client for the multicultural department called in, and they're like, "Hey, we need something translated to Spanish right now," and I was just like, "Oh, there's 2 people in this entire company that can do that." I'm just like, that's not right. That's not right.
It's not enough.
It's not enough.
Not
people.
enough.
But that's really it for starting social issues. No niggas would, so I didn't. And finally, the no S diet. Guys, last week was a 5 out of 7 week.
Okay.
Oh.
That's pretty good.
Oh, shit.
I mean, but so I had Jack in the Box on Monday, like a fool, and I was just like, all right, no, I'm gonna take this shit seriously. Like, fuck this, not gonna do this nonsense anymore. It got up to Thursday. Thursday was a really tough day at work. I just got a project in the middle of another project, and like, hey, can you get both of these done at the same time? And I'm like, So I just got really stressed. Like, I got really, really, really stressed, and like I hovered over the Doritos. Like, I looked at them.
So you got to levitate like you wanted.
I did it. I got done and did it. So I
Using it to stalk your prey.
Oh my gosh. I saw them and I didn't grab them. What I've been doing to try and help myself is like I've been saying the word chemicals, because all these things are, all these things are engineered to make you hungry and to make you feel not full. That's why you eat an entire bag of Doritos and you don't feel satiated. It's made like this. So every time I go there, I'm like, chemicals, fucking chemicals. And that got me through 5 days out of the week. Then Friday showed up and I ordered $100 worth of Uber Eats in 2 days.
Wow.
Yep.
Damn, that is record shattering right there.
Frank, that is a generous tip.
Yeah. And Max had posted something on Twitter not that long ago where it's just like millennial economics is paying $20 for an $8 meal using Uber Eats.
Yeah,
I'm like, yeah, I did, and I just totally did. I said I was only gonna do it Friday, but Friday turned into Sunday night, and I was just like, holy shit. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, where I gotta find better ways to reward myself. That's not.
Yeah. So, what do you think makes it so much relatively easier Monday through Friday, or at least Monday through Thursday? And then when Friday, Saturday, Sunday hits, what is difficult about doing no S on Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Well, he can do it on Saturdays and Sundays.
Oh, that's right.
This is Friday.
What is it about Friday?
What is it about Friday? Jeez. I keep having this weird system in my brain where I'm like, oh, I deserve this. Like it keeps there's a weird thing that keeps happening. That after a tough week, and especially with how hard Thursday was, like I'm just looking for some sort of I want a cookie at the end of this, but this cookie is literally doing away with all the work that I'm doing in the gym. Like I'm literally just like sliding back down the mountain.
There's this book I've heard. I got recommended to it by one of my close friends, Frank Hernandez. You might have heard of it. I think it's called The Power of Habit.
The Power of Habit.
By good old Charles Duhigg.
Yeah. And it's I think there's always an example of the cookie and then a mouse or something, and it sounds like you're in this phase where you kind of need to find that. What do they call it? It's like rewiring, or you gotta short circuit the habit, something like that.
Yeah, I think it's the cue, the routine, and the reward.
Yeah.
So your cue and your reward are gonna stay the same, but it's the
the cue would stay the same, but I would have to change the routine and the reward. Because the cue, it's Friday night, so I'm like, it's Friday night. I need to order Uber Eats, and my reward is delicious Uber Eats. But maybe I need to add like a fourth thing of just like, hey, then I'm losing all the gains that I'm making throughout the week. No, I'm actually making different types of gains. So yeah, that's...
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no, the wrong type of gains. But yeah,
you should run to the mirror.
Hey, pal.
Frank, have you considered deleting Uber Eats?
I've done it so many times.
But then also maybe either closing your account or disconnecting your credit card from it as well, on top of deleting.
Adding many layers.
Yeah, just add as much friction as you can.
Uber is created for you to not quit Uber because it's also connected to your Uber account, and you can literally not have an Uber account without having a card attached to it.
Dirty.
Right?
Well, why don't you call Uber and tell them to suspend your account?
I mean, maybe this is the moment I join Lyft.
Yeah, I actually really like.
There you go.
Lyft.
You could join Lyft and then actually,
I think Lyft is significantly better.
There you go. So,
granted, Express Pool on Uber be popping.
Yeah,
I'll be getting from Little Haiti to Coral Gables, for those of you that don't live in Miami, that's very far, for like $5.
Nice.
Damn, son.
So I mean, but then again, you got a car, so what the fuck?
I also have
that
a car.
too.
Yeah,
Frank, you own a car. And there's alternatives available.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth investigating to see if deleting those apps / closing your account and using alternative service is good enough to change that routine.
This is the best commercial for Lyft I've ever heard. Just like, hey, are you getting too fat with Uber Eats?
I also want to suggest that I think you should. I love that you said chemicals. I want to say you should probably form a mantra.
Chemicals.
Or something of the like, where whenever that cue hits, you get into the habit of saying that. Like, hi, my name is Frank Hernandez. I am on the no S diet. I will not be partaking in eating any S's at the moment. I mean, if you're calling yourself out immediately when it happens, instead of just letting it sit in your subconscious or in the back of your mind, and the guilt is just like, you shouldn't be doing this, man.
Hey, bro,
give your guilt a fucking megaphone.
Hey, brother, you shouldn't do that, man. That's the opposite.
I mean, I think you should try that out.
I'm on it.
Okay.
But Max,
okay, good.
What you doing? How you living?
Oh, I'll let you know exactly how I'm living.
Oh, he's gonna tell us.
I got 3 challenges. First is to write 60 pages of my great American novel. The next is to see a therapist. And finally is to get 3 people into my social media strategy. So for my writing goals this week, I wrote like less than a page. I wrote maybe 3/4 of a page. Quality 3/4 if you ask me.
75%.
But it doesn't bring me much more closer to my goals. I definitely want to get 3 more pages down this week, which is what I said I was going to do last week. But I really want to execute more on that. I have had a lot more fun writing, though. And I've been writing a lot more in general. And in general, I'm much more confident I'm going to complete this goal because it just seems that writing is much more of a habit for me. And I just have to get myself more focused on writing that one project, because right now sometimes I'll get home and I'll feel like writing. And I might pop out a commercial for the podcast. I might write something entirely fictional. I might want to write something for Best Lives. But not all of those are marked goals that are going to get me to where I want to go. So I just need to get better at focusing and bringing my energy to one project.
Okay. Do you think that's going to be something you can overcome for next week?
I think so.
So what are your goals? What's your goal for next week?
To get to 6 pages.
2 out of 7, 7 out of 7. What?
For this last week, 1 out of 7.
Well, what's your goal for next week?
3 pages. If I can do, I want to do like a 5 out of 7, where I do like half a page.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. my next goal to get people to use the Best Lives model. Didn't do a ton there. Have not been talking to people about it a lot.
Okay, well, you need people to do
So
it.
the people
you're
are
up
part
there.
of this goal.
Absolutely right.
3 of them,
Absolutely
actually.
correct. 3 of them. And I keep telling myself, like, it's not ready. Like, it's not done. I can't bring people in yet. And I think I've been telling myself that for months now, which seems like way too long to be sitting on all this stuff and not sharing with anybody. So I'm making it my goal this week to get one person who's never done any of this stuff with me to begin the journey. So I'm going to find someone. I'm going to reach out. I'm going to call out and see who wants to do this.
Person, if you're listening
So
out there.
your goal for next week is to have that one person.
Yes, begin with stage 1. Step
What
1.
what stopped you this week from making that happen?
I just haven't been really focused a lot. I've been more focused on creating the materials than I have been with recruiting people to like see if it works. But
So you're ready to go though.
You have the best country club with no members.
yeah. I think it is ready to go, or at least like it's ready enough that it's gonna be made better with feedback from people. Me
Right.
staring
You're
at it
a place where
myself.
you actually need to start engaging.
Yeah. I don't think it's gonna get much better with just me.
Max, would you say you've been waiting for the right moment?
Yes, I have.
I know that feel, bro.
Thank you.
So next week you're gonna have at least one person
Start
engaged with the Best Live model.
Yes.
To some degree.
Absolutely. That's the
We'll
plan.
check up on that.
Yes, and my last
So
goal.
you know what to do to change that.
Oh yes, I'm gonna reach out. I have the person in mind right now too.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and my last goal is to see a therapist.
Okay.
Drum roll.
Oh
please.
man. Oh man.
The anticipation.
Guys,
Not ready for this.
I called a therapist on Friday.
Woo!
Well, yeah, we'll pick
Wait,
that up.
hold on,
We'll
hold
pick
on.
that up. Okay.
Yeah, I called the therapist to make an appointment
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
on Friday, and then they told me they'll call me back on Monday.
Well, we are recording this on a
this is
Tuesday.
Tuesday
Yes.
when we're recording
And then
this.
they called me back on Monday,
Okay.
and I was at work, so I didn't pick up. And then they called me back on Tuesday,
Okay.
Which is
today, and I was at work, so I
God
didn't pick
damn
up.
it. God damn it.
So there. I know, yeah. So it doesn't make not a ton of progress, but I do have the number. It's on my phone, and I will call them back. That's
or
my
email.
plan for this.
The electronic
Yeah.
mail is pretty popular these days.
Well, no.
lot of ways
Let
to
that, let that nigga talk.
All
Let that
right.
nigga talk.
Okay. Fine.
I think you should talk. So what? You gonna call him back tomorrow?
Yeah. You're gonna hit him up.
This week I'll call them.
Oh my gosh.
Why can't you call him back tomorrow morning though?
Yeah. Why can't- the first thing off your checklist.
You're right. There's no reason why I couldn't call them back tomorrow morning.
All right, but
Do you guys want me to call them back tomorrow morning? I'll call them back tomorrow morning.
I'm
Max,
happy
I want
you
you to
called.
call him back. I want you to call him back tomorrow morning, and then I want you to tweet out, "I just got off the phone with the therapist."
We need that marker,
Gosh.
We
Right.
need that marker, bro.
Okay. Understood.
Just in case I'm at work and I don't see.
bro.
your text.
Yeah. I'll see that. You call.
Oh, okay.
You can check
All
Twitter.
right. So I will call them in the morning and establish that meeting.
What?
I'll call them in the morning and I'll establish the meeting. I'll set up a meeting. And then I'll tweet. I'll let the whole world know.
And then you're gonna call them in the morning to schedule an appointment.
schedule-
Yeah. I'm not gonna say hello. How you doing? How's your Wednesday
Lovely
morning?
day we're having. Isn't it?
Yeah.
How's therapy going?
Yeah. So I'll get that in the books.
Okay. So
Yeah.
we'll check up on that next week then. All right, Steve. How was your week? What you got for us?
Okay. So my first challenge was to not wait, and I'm just gonna go in hot and say that I did no waiting the past week.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, no. Wait. I I did wait.
You're going too fast.
Okay.
Yeah, I went too fast. I had to wait.
Yeah, too quick.
So
What'd you wait on? What did you wait on?
I spent the week in Utah, and I thought I was feeling pretty decent though. My time there, I was working remotely, and Celeste had brought to my attention that I had been a little different and weird, and it kind of hit me with something she was saying, or it hit me that I'd been kind of taking on a lot of emotional burdens from people that are close to me, like my family, maybe at friends, just different people that aren't just me, and I kind of put their problems before mine, and I've been waiting to kind of address that, and just by always kind of prolonging it and realizing, or I've been waiting and trying to prolong my own problems by just kind of like, oh no, other people's problems are more important. And so now I realize it's more important at times to step back and put my own things first, so that I could be, so that I could help others. You
got to put your own mask on first.
Yeah,
put your own mask on 1st.
Yeah, so that in that aspect, I'm working on that type of waiting. My second challenge is
Wait, I wanna bring that back for a quick second. We got to figure out a way on how to quantify that.
Waiting and not waiting.
Yeah, I think there should be at least. I mean, and Max, you can. This is at your discretion, but I think Steve needs at least 10 instances of not waiting before the reunion.
So you say this nigga brushes his teeth. It's just like he did it. He could have done that at night. He woke up this morning, teeth are clean.
I could brush my teeth 10 times in one day.
Wow.
And do it for the week.
He did not wait, yo.
Or I guess 5 days.
5 days are clean.
I mean, some way of quantifying it, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think every goal is quantifiable. Like Frank's goal as well, where it's hard to say.
Wishing
every
niggas
week.
would.
Yeah. We can't have the nigga would count. I don't know if that's. I don't want to incentivize that number going higher.
My God.
I mean, like 3 instances of a nigga wishing he would. Like,
yeah.
And I did.
Yeah. So I think it's fine if some of these goals stay unquantifiable, and as long as we, as the people that have given these challenges, are seeing that these people are making progress, I think that's fine.
Got it.
No,
Okay.
And
okay.
Steve, to your less waiting, like the idea that you have to put on your mask first before helping other people, like that's huge. And I know I definitely had to kind of deal with that quite a bit myself, where just like, you want to help everyone. You want to be this superhero.
Right.
Because I'm like, and especially if you're known as a person who's reliable, it's just like, oh, okay. The idea of letting other people down is something that I know makes me feel like shit if I feel like I've let anyone down.
Oh yeah, especially when it's either to you it's like a small thing or that can leave a large impact on someone else, and you either don't do it or you don't do it to the level that you can. It's little things that if you do it over, spans of years and years, it kind of accumulates, and you're just like, man, like I feel like I see myself as this awesome person, but when I look back and all these little things that I kind of forgot, I don't feel as quite as awesome. And that kind of stuff, yeah, it can put a weird humming kind of like anxiety and stress on a person that you just kind of tune out until one day you realize like, oh man, I haven't been taking care of myself. Which
wow, that's pretty big.
Yeah,
I think that sounds like progress to me.
That sounds like progress to me. Okay. That is unquantifiable progress right there.
There you go. Unanimous, unquantifiable progress.
All right, and your last challenge?
Well, there's still 2 more challenges.
Oh, 2 more? Sorry.
So my second challenge is making music, So my second challenge is to make music, and I actually got. I was kind of worried about this week because I didn't really do much until on my return from Utah. I got the weirdest bit of inspiration / I don't know. I don't really know what to call it. I like captured sound.
Ooh.
I was waiting on a train, and it was like this weird like sewage, like storm drain, and it was making a rhythm. It was like, but it was all just water, and I was just like, oh, maybe it'll stop, but it just kept going. So I was like, it sounds really unique. So I just took a video of it. And I was like, hey, maybe I could do something with this. I mean, my phone's microphone's not that great, but I could probably like distort it or do something weird and crazy with it. But I was like, hey,
you can put like an audio vector on it.
An audio vector?
Yep.
Is that a
the
thing?
newest
Never mind.
thing.
That's me trying to implement graphic design.
Nope.
Nope.
Carry on.
That's not.
Yeah.
Carry on. Carry on.
And so, yeah, that was kind of cool. But I had been thinking a bit, and this is probably a potential hot take, controversial moment in the podcast, where I was kind of thinking, reconsidering or changing this challenge into
Oh, shit.
Sorry, continue, please.
Yeah.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, there's a lot of firsts on this one, or this week for me. So my degree is in video game design, and I haven't made a game in about 5 years. And I was thinking they are around the same level of creativity, difficulty. Like there's a lot of parallels. For one, video games often need music.
They do.
The thing that had me thinking is that I know very, very little about actual music composition. I usually, when I open up the software to make music, I just kind of hit buttons until I make something that I think sounds okay. And, that's fun and it's kind of cool. I think I would have to spend a lot of time to make something that I would actually be like very proud to, present and share with other people. Whereas a video game, I can kind of still get that level of difficulty of committing to a project or sets of projects. So it doesn't have to just be one game. It can be multiple ones and this and that. But I can use a lot of my other skills and knowledge and experiences into making these projects.
So you were wanting to change your challenge to making a video game?
Yes.
Look, I don't mind you making a video game. Also,
Oh,
but like,
hot take.
no, this is the hot take. It's there on the website. Recorded and publicly released 5-song EP. Now, if this EP is about your video game, I'm down. Like I'm down about that. What the subject of the songs are, I don't know. Are they for the game? Dope. But like the challenge is to create the music. I love the. I know that you do actually have a degree in video game design.
Yep.
But like I challenged you particularly for the music part because I know it's something that it's not something that you're that used to, and I want you to get out of your comfort zone. Something I wanted you to like kind of just stretch a little bit. They don't have to be amazing songs. They don't. It's just the actual act of, like,
you will die
creation.
knowing that you made a five-track EP.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also, Steve, have a confession to make. I don't have much experience in writing a book. I don't have much experience in starting a nonprofit.
Everything I know is a lie.
Yeah.
Hold on. I kind of get where you're going at, but that is a stretch.
Bombshell, right? So I'm just saying, I think all of us are doing things that we have very little experience in doing with, some aspect of all of our challenges. But I think that's why we have these challenges at the same time. And at the same time, I know that if you want to make this video game, I think you will make some bomb-ass music with it too. And that could also be a 5-track EP. I think you can do all of these things. And I don't know. Maybe making the video game is the only thing that's going to make you make the music, So if you want to go down this path, I think it's a great idea. But I think you can do both if you want to.
Yeah.
Motion denied, Steve.
Yeah, no. That's what this is for.
Remember, this is a legally binding
podcast.
And also democratic. I presented to the House. The House has its votes, and
got shot down in the Senate.
Yeah, it's okay.
The House does think it's a pretty cool idea to make a video game.
Yeah, there you go.
Is that what we're gonna call ourselves now? The House.
The House of y'all boys.
Yeah.
The House of y'all boys.
All right, so one more challenge.
And your last challenge, Steve. Don't be switching it up on me talking about you want to paint and shit.
I was, now that you've got me on that, and I have the floor. At being the House of y'all boys now, I decided as like a last minute defense I should go for a filibuster. Okay.
Wait,
no.
I don't think my computer can record.
No, don't worry. Actually, no. You'd be pleasantly surprised that
okay.
in the conversation I had with Celeste, I realized I had something to journal about. And that day, I spat out maybe like 3 pages.
Oh shit!
What?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It was two very, I mean, just like top to bottom words
Semantics.
and stuff. Yeah. But the third page was more of a focus on like real goals that I wanted to do. Because I was kind of just digging deep into attributes and things that I thought were goals, like being more focused or speaking more clearly. Those in my mind were always goals, but I also realized they're not really super tangible ones. It's like, how could I ever know, I've completed or mastered being completely well-spoken and things like that. So those were more abstract character traits that I want to improve, that I'll probably constantly improve throughout my life. But I also wanted
your experience points will build to that.
Yeah, and I wanted a concrete list of goals that I want to accomplish that I can actually check off. And that helped. All that writing helped a lot. And then the next day I wrote some more. I have more intent to write tonight.
Nice.
I've also found, once nighttime is definitely better for writing. And I just found the right things to write about.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, Steve.
Yeah,
Sounds like a good checkup.
Yeah. So Josh, challenges. How are they?
Okay. Well, my challenges are to come out with music more favorably with a banjo, to keep a consistent budget, and also to keep a consistent workout schedule. I am here to say, fellas, gentlemen of the house
of y'all boys.
House of y'all.
This is slowly going to evolve into a political podcast. Josh,
Juventus.
Okay.
I kept a consistent workout schedule.
Oh.
Is that two?
I worked out. Last week, I know on the episode I said I was going to do 4 times to working out. I did 3 times.
Okay. It's still up.
Okay.
It's still up.
And I will say I was genuinely disappointed that I couldn't make the 4th, and that was a logistical a gaffe on my end. I was a lot of things going on this week, and timing wise, I didn't want to be a bad friend, and a combination of things. So I couldn't squeeze in that 4th, but I did feel really bad about not hitting that 4th, and I think that is a good sign of me.
Okay.
I actually worked out right before recording this podcast.
Okay.
And I got off work and I was like, nope, I need to go to the fucking gym.
Yes.
And I ran my ass over there and I did it with fervor. And it was for a quick 30 minutes. I had to run back here to record this, but I did it. So I did 3 times out of 4. This week I'm going to shoot for 4.
Wonderful.
So
I'm
very happy with myself for that.
Good shit.
I also worked out with my roommate last week. He's been so freaking supportive, very patient with me, showing me his routines, and I'm really, really grateful for that support. And I got man titties. Like I got a little, that thing where you can like shake your titties.
Me too. I know that feeling.
Oh shit, yo, Frank, send me a video you shake your titties.
Nope. But like we working on it, Josh. We working on it. We're gonna not having those.
Fine.
No, Josh. But let me be straight up, Josh. There's way too many shirts that I own right now where they show very pronounced. So I'm just like, that's my goal. My goal's not even a certain weight. I just don't want my boobs to be as pronounced as they are currently. Like, that's it. Is that too much to ask?
Man, fitness goals sure do change with age. Is what this podcast is showing us all.
Yeah, after a certain point, you realize just how pointless abs are.
Yeah, I just don't want boobs. Yeah.
I just don't want boobs.
Yeah.
Hey man, that core is just as important though.
All right, Josh, what else you got?
So the second one was music.
Mm-hmm.
I practiced banjo since my banjo class. I've had a yearning to practice. Like I'll be at work and like I'll start twiddling my fingers like as if I'm playing. And I practiced 4 times this week.
Okay.
Ooh.
And I realized that I know 2 songs on the banjo and I'm getting better at playing them. My biggest issue was like fretting and like, the strumming part I kind of got down pat, and then it's just like switching the frets, like going to each note has been a little difficult for me. Yeah. But with a couple of days of practice, I'm actually like playing the song. So normally I would play the song, and then like when it comes to switching the fret, it'd be like dun 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 dun. So, but now I'm like dun 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 dun.
Look at him go!
Hey,
Look at him go!
So I'm switching it up, and my goal is to master those songs and then write a rap over the songs that I already know,
Hell yeah.
instead of trying to do something new.
yeah.
Because now, due to more practice, I'm now even like going from one song to another in the same song and like flowing back and forth. So I want to master those 2 songs, and then I'll write a song about it. The name of the song, just a little preview, is actually called The Rapping Banjo.
You heard it here first.
So,
Legally Binding Podcast.
Legally Binding Podcast. Last but not least,
That budget, bro.
Money.
What's up?
I don't want to give myself advice this week. I want you guys to give me a prescription that I follow.
Don't listen to the guy
Because-
who spent $100 on Uber Eats.
Plan A. Yeah, Frank is
Well,
out.
not you, Frank.
I'm out. I'm out.
yeah.
I'm gonna tap out of this.
Are you recusing yourself?
Yes, I'm recusing myself from the house.
Yeah.
Since I got a car, like Uber is not constantly chipping away at my funds anymore, which is awesome. So like it'll be like 3 days, 4 days where I'm like, oh shit, all right, I still got the same amount of money. Problem is when I get money, all of a sudden I feel like I think I got a lot of money. And then I just it's when I'm really broke, I'm more conservative. When I have a lot of money, all of a sudden my inhibitions just fucking fade away.
Yeah.
And I just I'm very
Josh, stop right there. What goal do you have with money?
Great question.
My goal is to be debt free and to have an emergency fund.
Okay.
Good goals.
Yeah, they're very common goals. I have actually the same goals. And I think a lot of other people do too. So when you see this large or when you see these new fluctuating amounts of money, do you ever think to consider, oh, I have this debt and I need these savings. I should allocate something towards either one of those?
I mean, I usually just pay my bills, and then once again, I mean, I've said it before, sorry listeners, but it's just that slush money where I'm just like,
All right.
I don't
I'll give
know.
you a hint, Josh. There's no such thing as slush money.
Yep.
I know.
All right.
I know.
So
I need to face. I don't know why. I just can't. I can't seem to put myself in a position where I'm facing my money
yeah.
and being like, "Hey, this is how much money you have, and this is what you need to do with it." I don't know. I don't know.
All right, Josh. I got some tough questions for you. Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready to answer them?
Yes.
Okay. Number 1, do you have a checking and a savings account?
Yes. I have 2 checking accounts, which I need to get rid of.
Huh?
Because I get charged $12 a month for both.
Yeah.
Yep.
2 checking accounts?
Well, one checking account used to be a savings account, but you can't take out money too
Yeah.
much.
Oh wow, this is like a deeply rooted problem.
What?
Oh,
No,
geez.
that is why you have a savings account. That system is in place to keep you from being you. I would highly recommend getting converted back to a savings account.
Well, I have a savings account. I do. I
Okay,
have
you
with
have
another
one.
bank.
Great. Use it. Just use it.
Wait,
All right?
pause. I would argue first that Josh should solely focus on clearing out his debt before
Step
he,
1, clear
he
debt.
builds
Hell
up
yes.
his savings because
Cause them interest rates, my nigga.
Yep.
yeah, that's what keeps
Bro.
you in debt.
Right. And if he's having a hard time keeping enough money to figure out all of that stuff, he needs a place to put it where he doesn't want to touch it all the time. Perhaps a place that has a penalty for touching the money too much. And I agree with that statement fully, simply because of the interest rates. And if he wants to make the most of his money, he definitely needs to pay down his highest interest rate loans first.
Damn right.
But if you have a hard time understanding you have enough money to do that with, you want to definitely put it in a place that allows you to think in that way. That's where I'm coming from.
Okay, so step 1, what?
Your main concern should be to pay off your highest interest rate loans.
Fax machine.
So you also want to start a emergency fund.
I have that.
Good. Do you know when you could be debt free if you put as much money as you could behind it?
15 years.
Wow. Sounds like a number you pulled out your ass.
I think in like a cool, like I think 6 years.
Okay. Oof. I think that you should know the answer to that question.
Facts.
Yes.
Facts.
So I think that's great homework for you to have, is to find out when you could be debt free. And maybe you want to come up with a few projections, right? So have a really aggressive goal for like the fastest possible. If you gave up all the money you possibly could, you know, and only kept what you need for the car and for the food and for the lights. And then maybe a more easy projection where you just put, you know, half that into the loans and see how long that would take you. You need to find out how long those dates are.
Okay.
So figure out.
And I also need to sit down and calculate what my money is on a week by week basis, because I don't think if I do that, if I don't tag what my money is,
you're gonna keep thinking it's nebulous. You think it's
I'll before we move on, I'll share one massive L that encompasses my perspective on money, and I really had a come to Jesus moment in my car. I was at Walmart and I said, "Bro, I'm gonna get cereal, oat milk, a fillet of salmon, some beans, and quinoa." That's what I went in there for.
Oh no.
And
you just got those
like,
things and you walked
all right.
out.
I was like, well, maybe let me just get a little more. And then, like, my mom had offered to, like, hook me up with some bread. So I was like, oh, Mom, actually, can I grab that bread? She gave me some bread. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm Gucci. I can get a little more. I got to the register. My budget was $40. I got to the register. Mind you, it's closing at Walmart. Like, it's closing. So the line is a ways away. I mean, there's a lot of people in line, and the girl was frustrated. She told the last person, hey, you're the last person, but that person didn't tell the person behind them that they were the last person. So the line hit the building. I get to the front, and she calculates my price, and it's $100.
You were so close.
You could have had 5 Uber Eats meals.
I did not want to be like, take out XYZ. So I paid that, and it was an L. And I said, it re-galvanized my urgency to be like, I need a handle on my funds. And to anyone listening, I hope you don't find yourself in a position like that. But yes, I will tag my money. I will find out what my goals are. And I will give you those estimates next week. That is my promise to you and the listeners.
I hope so, man.
On that note, we're going to take our last break. We got another segment. Here's another word from our sponsors.
It's 6 a.m. Aaron did a kickflip and failed. Nikki did one of those internet challenges. And Jeb's Kickstarter has almost reached its goal. Now you know, you tap, you scroll. 8:30 a.m. A celeb just got canceled. Another superhero movie is out, and using the code SAVE gives you 15% off. Now you know, you tap, you scroll. Tapping and scrolling in bed affects us in different ways. If you're doing too much scrolling, think before you scroll. Social media is meant to keep you hooked. Remember, you can log out, delete the app, or delete the account if necessary. Control social media before it controls you.
Oh, I got my rose, I got my bud, I got my thorn. Here is the rose and thorn and the bud of the week. I got my rose and my thorn and my bud.
And we are back for our final segment, Rose, Bud, Thorn. We are gratitude addicts. So each week we like to talk about our rose, which is something that happened this week that was as beautiful and blossoming as a rose. We like to talk about our bud, which is something that's going to happen next week that we are excited that will ultimately become a rose. And our thorn, which is something that was a bit of a thorn in the side of your side. Awful Jamaican accent. Max, what you got for us today?
All right. I got a rose and a thorn and a bud. My thorn came when someone asked me about watching the Michael Jackson documentary, and I had to Leaving Neverland, yeah. And I had to give them my honest opinion about it, and they were a big Michael Jackson fan. And I had to be really honest with how the whole thing made me feel. And by the time I was done explaining how I felt, they were really sad too, because they, started to believe a lot of those things that they just heard of as being rumors. And we didn't really even talk about any of the disputed things. We just talked about the things that everyone accepts, such as, Michael Jackson always behaved like a 7-year-old boy. He slept in the same bed with the door closed with many little boys as often as he wanted, many, many times throughout his career with many, many different little boys. Those are things that everyone agrees happened. And I think those things are weird. And when I let this person know, they was like, man, that is weird.
Wait, did that person not know anything about Michael Jackson for the past 20 years?
They definitely knew all those things too, but they just realized that they were A, very true, and B, that if anyone else had done those things, we would all be like, that's definitely a creep, 100%
Any
for sure.
other human being that didn't make Thriller doing that, you're like,
weird.
I don't know, pal.
Yeah. And that was my thorn. My rose was I made a bomb-ass stir fry on Tuesday. When I tell you, I threw down on this stir fry, I'm telling y'all. And it's...
Which is also the name of a Migos song.
Exactly. Yo, yes. Thanks, Quavo, for the sponsorship.
Yeah. And it's been a goal of my personal goal for 2019 to get better at cooking and feeding people. So one of my kind of midpoints that tells me I'm on the right track is when I can go to the kitchen without a meal in mind, just look at all the ingredients I have and cook something that tastes good. And yeah, granted, stir fry is pretty simple in its ingredients and every kitchen might have that stuff. It still felt great to go in there, not know what I was about to do, and then make something that was just bomb. I threw an egg on that stir fry. That's when I knew I was having a good time.
It's a power of creation. And when we used to live together, one of the things that I wanted to implement in the house was we always cooked meals for each other. And that's something that I always kind of wanted to do, because it's just there's something, there's something to it when you create stuff for other people, from your heart, from scratch or whatever.
Absolutely.
And have the meal,
you want to step it up.
Yeah. Means something more. And my bud for this week, and really for the past 2-3 weeks now, I'm planning a trip to Paris, now including Amsterdam, with my brother and my sister. Two, please.
Oh, you've been reading up.
That's my favorite. Yeah. So it's been fun just getting to organize and plan the trip and figure out what we're going to do and where we're going to stay and when this is all happening. So I'm excited about having this with my brother and my sister. And I know I've brought this up before, but we just haven't had a trip like this before. So I'm pretty excited about it. And that's my bud.
Oh, shit. Steve, what you got?
My thorn this week was a bit on the technical side, in that I realized I'm just not ready for the future.
Oh, shit.
You saw the future and said, fuck that.
Yeah, no.
Hell no.
Wait, hold on. That's not funny, no?
No, it's what I'm about to say is very grim.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, so I work, I have one of the more newer MacBooks where it's all USB-C ports. So every time I've gone to go see Celeste, I'm just realizing, oh, right, this thing only has USB-C ports. And I'd be trying to watch something on Netflix with a TV, hook up HDMI. I always bring the HDMI cable, but there's no HDMI to USB-C. That was a long-standing problem that I finally solved.
You just carrying wires.
Yeah. This time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be working, so I brought my mouse from work. It's this lovely little trackball. Shout out to ergonomics and technology that from 2002. And that was again I was so excited to sit down, had my trackball. Oh, it's USB 2.0, and I just got hot because. Why can't they just put just one USB-C or one regular USB port? Why does it all have to be USB-C? And that was a thorn. I got mad.
That's an abuse of power by Apple.
Oh yeah.
It's moving us to the future, guys. Y'all just need to get
No,
to
I mean,
2008.
I try to think of myself as a futurist, but this is too much.
I'm
I
trying
had to buy.
Draw the line at a port.
Yeah, no, I had to buy an adapter for USB ports. I have 2 of them because, again, or this is a different thing, but Amazon failed to ship it to me before I left. So then I had to get one shipped to Utah, and then now I have 2, and I don't need that many. So I'm just really stirred up about USB-C.
This boy's stirred up.
Yeah. On the upside, my rose was on Friday. I was walking down like this quaint little street with Celeste in like downtown Provo. Super, I guess, low key. Well, low key in the sense that there's just no tall buildings. It's just like it's an exciting time for Mormons. Like there's like churches and temples and that kind of stuff. And we walked by a board game store / cafe, and it was awesome. I've gone to one before here in the city in San Francisco, where we ended up playing a game we owned in the house, Ticket to Ride, which at the time I thought maybe this is a good idea, but no. These kind of cafes are great for playing all sorts of board games, and I learned 3 new games, and I think that's kind of what got me thinking into the whole video game design route. So yeah, that was a great time. It was like $5, and we were there for 5 hours. It was great. The bud I have is this Thursday we're doing like a bike building challenge, which I don't really know too much about other than there's like mental challenges and physical activity, and it's going to be for like 2 hours, and it's going to be during work. And I like bikes, I like building stuff, and I think the winning team donates a bike to a charity. So I like all those things, and I'm going to be doing it. So I'm looking forward to it.
You're going to be like casting the iron.
Yes.
You're going to be like harvesting the rubber.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a very authentic bike.
Josh, what you got?
All right, so my thorn rosebud this week. I'll start with my thorn. I wasted time with people that I shouldn't have been spending time with. I've realized that I have a flaw of just giving away my time, man. Take it all. Fucking socialism over here. I mean, like, I like talking to people and listening to them, but I don't gotta do that with everybody, you know? And I don't know. I don't like that about myself, but I think it's an important first step that I acknowledge it, and I'm like, you know what? I need to spend more time with people that I actually care about, or people that I actually want to develop relationship with. I'm not a deli market where you grab a number and you spend time with me.
Mm-mm.
My rose was that I kicked it with my siblings on Sunday. We did a lot of home improvement things at my mom's crib. And it was nice just cracking on each other. And my brother taught me a new hip word, poots. If something is fake or phony,
These kids just
poots.
Poots.
They are awesome. I love them. Shout out to Keith and Fafa. You guys are the best. And lastly, my bud is I'm going to New York next week, which is awesome. I spent the wonderful weekend with my besties talking about what we're going to do. And one of my besties is getting married, so we're going to go pick a wedding dress. I'm going to get a chance to see a whole bunch of squad people from New York that I haven't seen in a while. It's going to be a gay old time. Granted, my flight to New York is 7 hours. So
is it normally 7 hours?
Yeah. Are you going the other way around?
Are you going to the ocean for no reason and coming back? Like,
going
how
south
is that a 7-hour flight?
Economics, man. I went for the cheapest.
Okay.
And I'm going to like Nevada. It's a whole
The other side of the country.
Nevada, Stockholm, Oslo.
But the ticket's like $20 though, right?
something like that. It's just a whole ass situation. But that's still fine. I'm gonna have fun. On that note,
Max's $50 gift card for therapy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
let me know if you want some therapy.
Oh yes, you got to give me that, Max. Can you mail me that?
Yep.
Actually, can you fax it to me?
Ew.
Frank, what you got for us?
All right, so Thorn Rosebud. My thorn, social media. So I run the social media for Y'all Boys Talking.
Do you?
So I do.
Since when?
Hold on, let me
Can I
check.
follow?
Please do. You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at y'allboystalking.com. Not y'allboystalking, y'allboystalking.
But if you type in the same thing, you'll get it.
You also get, you get it.
We are indiscernible.
Which has been fun. Like, my professional job is to make digital media, so I'm really excited to be able to take those skills that I've been doing professionally for other things and do it for something, about us, and that's been really good. But the downside to that is the fact that now I'm on social media all the time. Before I started doing this, I actually started limiting myself. I'm like, I'm on Instagram too much. I'm on Twitter too much. I'm like, I don't know about that. But now, because it's part of what I'm doing for the show and for the podcast, once I complete my duties for that, I'm just like, but hold on, let me go see what this is doing. What that's doing. And then I go end up on Twitter and then I read this article and then I'm like, oh, but this wrestler did what? Yeah. And then I click into too many comments and then I'm like, somebody make a bad comment. Then I go on their thing and I read their profile. I'm like, oh, they're just an asshole all the time. And then I realize it's been 6 hours since I looked away from my phone. So that's definitely my thorn, in the fact that I get caught in the trap. I get caught in the trap. So I still need to find a way to balance out, posting stuff for y'all boys and also, getting away from it when I need to. My rose, which is somewhat connected to my bud, and I'll get to that in a second. My rose is just life, Like every week I try and think of something that, like something specific that happened the previous week that I'm just like, I'm really thankful for this. But for this week, I had a rough week. Again, I'll get that sort of into my bud. That I'm thankful I have my health. I'm thankful I have my car, have an ability to pay my bills. One of the things that I got sad about is that I have a second job that I'm running, and it might be over at the end of this month. But that's my second job. Why am I have enough money to pay the bills with my first job, and I'm getting sad about the second one, so I can get stuck in like this long, deep, existential crisis of like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. I don't know what's going on with this and what's going on with that, but I have so much to be thankful for, and I just need to remember that. So that's definitely my rose. And my bud is a little complicated. So today, the day of this recording, March 12th, is actually the 8-year anniversary of my mom passing away. It's definitely not an easy thing. It's something that I kind of have to deal with ever since it happened. And, after 8 years, you're like, oh, maybe you'll get over it. It's not a thing you get over. It's not a thing you get over. You lose a parent, especially, and I was really close to my mom. So it's just really tough, like, especially this week, and I really missed her a lot. I had some pretty tough days. There's some days I didn't want to get out of bed. The $100 that I spent on Uber Eats was because I didn't want to see anyone, was because I didn't want to go anywhere, was because I had a really tough time facing like who I was and I felt like a failure. It was just a lot of things, and I'm like, especially coming up on this anniversary, like I'm just like, am I really being the person that my mom wanted me to be? And I started isolating myself. And I know through personal experience, and I know through experiences with other people that I've known in my life, the moment you start isolating yourself is the moment something's seriously wrong. And I found myself doing that. And I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of that. And I can logic my way out of everything. But, sometimes logic can't cover it up. And it's interesting, we did this on a Tuesday. I had therapy yesterday. And my therapist just brought up exactly what I've kind of known since I was 12 years old, is that I have depression. It's not even, it's even before my mom passed away. Like, I've had it forever. I had a very, kind of tumultuous childhood. And I kind of brought that into my life, and I'm thankful that over time I kind of got out of my shell, and I kind of got out of my funk. I used to dive into writing as my only escape because like my reality was just too hard for me to take sometimes. And you know, if anytime I ever come off that, I'm just like, I'm really grateful for things where I'm like super grateful. And I'm here talking to y'all boys specifically. I'm thankful that I met you guys because, you know, before that, I could not express myself in this way. I never felt okay to express myself like this or to have people that, you know, that I felt that got me and the people that liked me for me. Because I didn't like me. For a long time, I didn't like me. And this week, I kind of like found myself getting back into that place. And, you know, going to my therapist and she's being like, well, have you done this? Have you done that? And I'm like, and believe me when I say I'm doing everything I possibly can, whether it's working out, whether it's trying to eat well, whether it's this and that, where I'm like, I'm trying to make myself happy. But on Thursday, when I had that rough day at work, I spent almost the entire time in my car at the end screaming. Like, I'm being straight up. I was just yelling in my car because I thought if I yelled enough, like, I'd feel better. I'd feel a catharsis at the end of it, but I didn't. I just felt empty. And I'm just like, I don't want this. I literally just bought a book yesterday that should be coming in tomorrow, you know, so I can kind of work my way through this, but it's a process. It's a process, and I kind of wanted to put this out there. I wanted to put this out on the podcast because I know I'm not the only person out there who has difficulties, you know, in finding joy. Even when you're trying really hard, even when you're doing everything you can, even when you're trying to logic your way out of like, no, you could be happy if you do X, Y, and Z, but sometimes it's just not what happens. And the reason this is my bud and why this is connected to my mom passing away is because my mom was my superhero. My mom gave me strength. And the same reason I was sad is the same reason I'm happy, because she inspires me to this day. She inspires me to be a better person. She inspires me to like find happiness when things are sad, to find joy when there isn't any. And I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do that, and I'm going to push forward, and I'm going to get through this funk. I'm going to get away from bad substances, whether it's fast food, drugs, alcohol, whatever I would use to cover up my feelings and emotions. I'm going to use it to, you know, just push forward and be the best me I can be.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like
Well,
how that
Frank,
sounds.
thank you for opening that up, opening that wound. And I hope that some listener gets something out of that. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of power to express something like that, Frank. Kudos to you.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, that is another week, another episode, another recording of Y'all Boys Talkin'. We hope you have an amazing and productive week. Talk soon.
We got a couple shout outs that we want to give. Shout out to Gino Music for making the theme song. The song is called Won't Stop. Eddie and Lewis for making the interstitial music and giving us the good vibes. Follow along with our challenges at y'allboystalkin.com. Subscribe to us via iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and SoundCloud. Also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Y'all Boys Talkin'. New episodes every week.